It might seem weird, it might seem gross, but this is what you're watching today. You can always reserve some cookie dough just for you to eat, but shh. Hello everyone! Today we're making chocolate chip cookies. Such a classic, and it may be the very first thing you ever baked with someone. Today I'm using a flax egg instead of a chicken egg. So if you want to use chicken eggs, if that's what you use, go ahead and get those out so that they're at room temperature. But if you'd like to use a flax egg, I'm gonna get that going before we start anything else. So we need a small bowl, some ground flaxseed, and 1 flax egg is 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed with 3 tablespoons of water. And it doesn't matter what temperature your water is, just get it mixed up a little bit, and then we're going to let that sit for 3 to 5 minutes, but it'll definitely be ready to go by the time we need it. One more thing before we start mixing any of our ingredients is be sure to preheat your oven to 325 degrees. So once you've done that, we may commence. So I cut this recipe in half. It is from All Recipes. It's an old-fashioned chocolate chip cookie recipe. So we are going to have in it oatmeal and a little bit of cinnamon. The recipe itself doesn't call for cinnamon, but I'm adding it in anyway because it's delicious. Trust me. So to start, we're going to cream together our butter and our sugars. Here I have a ½ cup of softened butter. You want it soft so that you can cream it together easily with your sugars, and you don't want it melted. Now, softened butter gives us chewier cookies. Melted butter gives us crispier cookies. So a little fact if you didn't know that. And 1/2 cup of butter is 1 stick. Next we have white sugar, and we need 1/4 cup of that. And then we need 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. The recipe calls for light brown sugar. I tend to keep dark brown sugar in my kitchen because it has more molasses in it and it gives you chewier cookies because there's more moisture in it. So if you have a hand mixer or a stand mixer, this process will go a lot faster. But if not, and since we're making old-fashioned cookies, we cream our butter and sugars the old-fashioned way. I just have a wooden spoon. We're just going to work it all together until it makes a creamy mixture. So once your butter and sugar comes together and you get a pretty smooth mixture, and if you did this by hand, once you have a nice arm workout, we are ready for the next step. So you're going to add in 1 egg, and I have my flax egg here. And you're going to stir that in till it's combined. Make sure you scrape down the sides of your bowl. We want to get everything mixed in. Next up, we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Feel free to use a measuring spoon if you'd prefer. Get that mixed in. And then once you have all of your wet ingredients mixed together, set those aside. In a medium bowl, we're going to mix together our flour, which I need 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons. And it's that weird measurement because I'm cutting the recipe in half. So make sure you spoon your flour into your measuring cup. Flour will pack down, so if you just scoop it right out of your flour container, you're going to get more flour than you need. So that was our 1/2 cup. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Next, we need a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And just get the salt and the baking soda just kind of incorporated into the flour. It just makes sure we evenly distribute the baking soda and salt evenly throughout our entire cookie dough. So let's bring back our wet ingredients, and we're going to mix our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. And you can do this in batches. You can do it half at a time if you want. Sometimes it might be easier to do that. But today I'm just going to plop it all in and mix it together until it's just incorporated. So until you can no longer make out any loose flour. Make sure you scrape down your sides. You're gonna have flour that's gonna stick to the sides, and we wanna get that all mixed in. So once it's all mixed in, we're ready for our oatmeal. So we're gonna fold in 1½ cups of, correction. I'm going to double the baking soda because I want to give my cookies a little more rise. I want them a little thicker. So we put in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm gonna add in another 1/4 teaspoon and make it a total of a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So just sprinkle that over your dough. And I'm using old-fashioned oats today. And old-fashioned oats, when you make cookies with them, a lot of times you have to let the dough set so it can absorb, the oatmeal can absorb moisture, because if you don't let it set, usually it like really flat cookies, and we don't want that either. So I'm going to put in a couple extra tablespoons of flour, bringing that to a total of 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. So 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And what happened was I was using a recipe that I didn't realize was using instant oats, and I don't have instant oats. So sometimes the reality of baking is you have to adapt. And luckily we have this wonderful thing called the internet, and I was able to find a recipe that matches the recipe I started with, but it uses old-fashioned oats. So it increases the amount of flour just by 2 tablespoons, and then it just doubles the baking soda we used. So not a big deal. And I'm going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Sprinkle that right over. All right, let's get that mixed in real quick before we put in our oatmeal. So again, just mix until you get your flour worked in. All right, back to a regularly scheduled program. Oatmeal, old-fashioned oats. We need 1½ cups of old-fashioned oats. And this will take a little bit of muscle if you're doing it by hand, but we're just gonna get those all folded in. It may seem like, how is this going to work itself in? But it will. Just keep stirring. Okay, one last thing with using the new recipe, we need to bump our oven up to 350 degrees. Alrighty, and now my favorite part, not my favorite part, my favorite ingredient is chocolate chips. So the recipe calls for 1 cup, which is a lot. So I'm going to mix in a 1/2 cup, especially because I have mini chocolate chips, and the mini ones tend to make you think that there's more chocolate in them than there is because they get dispersed everywhere. So it's like you're always biting into a little chocolate chip. But by all means, add an entire cup. You do you. And if you want, you could also put in like walnuts or pecans if you wanted, or you could do half chocolate, half nuts. I'm not gonna tell you to do this because you could get salmonella. You can get salmonella from eggs and from raw flour. So even though I didn't use an egg, I used raw flour, but I take responsibility for my actions. And I'm going to try some of our cookie dough. Phenomenal. Okay, let's get out our cookie sheet. Are you excited? I'm excited. So here I have a cookie scoop. This is a 1.5 tablespoon cookie scoop. The recipe says to use a 2 tablespoon cookie scoop, but just use whatever you have. If you have to ball it up by hand or use 2 spoons, whatever you got, go for it. Obviously I've parchment papered my cookie sheet. I just love easy cleanup. You could use foil if you wanted, whatever. And I'm gonna place my cookies a couple inches apart. It would help if you could see them, because I'm not sure how much they're going to spread out. My hope is that they won't spread out a ton, but you never know. What you could always do is put like 1 or 2 cookies by themselves on a cookie sheet, bake them, and see how much they spread out. And then you'll know how close to put them. But I'm going to live life on the edge. Just do them all. If you have 2 cookie sheets, even better, because you could alternate them. Have one in the oven, put cookie dough on the other one. When the other one comes out, put this one in. Once you fill up your cookie sheet, we're gonna pop it in the oven for 10 to 13 minutes. We're gonna start with 10. I'm a fan of a chewy, slightly undercooked cookie, preferably one you can still hold, but I mean, to each their own. But we'll start with 10 minutes and we'll see what they look like then. So while your cookies are cooking, you can get out your wire cooling rack if that's what you have and that's what you use. I don't have one. And this is what I grew up using. So this is a paper shopping bag, and we just cut out the bottom. And we turn it inside out and fold it flat. And this is where we let our cookies cool. It might seem weird, it might seem gross, but this is what you're watching today. Take it or leave it. And this is our cookies after 10 minutes. They're still pretty pale, so I'm going to put them back in for a minute or 2. 2 minutes later, this is where we're at, and they're still pretty blonde. Now, you can leave them here. I'm gonna put them in for 1 more minute. All right, so it's been 13 minutes in the oven. I would cook mine for at least 12 to start, but we didn't know that. So if you start at 10, you can always add more time. Let's see if we should let them sit on your cookie sheet for a couple minutes so that they can firm up and you can scoop them off. If you want, you could always just slide your parchment off of your pan. But that kind of flattened some of our cookies, so do that at your own risk. Alrighty, so once your cookies have cooled for as long as they need to so that you can scoop them off your parchment. Well, at this point you don't really need to, but we're going to. You can put them on your cooling rack or your paper bag if that's what you've decided to try out. If anyone else does this with their cookies, leave a comment down below. I want to know if my family's the only one. And so just keep cooking until you're all done baking all of your cookie dough, or I'm not telling you to, but you can always reserve some cookie dough just for you to eat, but shh. All right, let's give one a try. Still a little gooey inside, so I think 12 to 13 minutes for me was good, but it's up to you. And you can tell by when you bend them, they're going to be chewy. by how they come apart, but let's give them a taste test. Crisp on the outside, chewy on the inside. All you need is a cup of milk. The very first time I made cookies like these with the oatmeal and the cinnamon in my chocolate chip cookies, people told me they reminded them of their grandma's cookies. And I was like, well, that's real cool. So if these remind you, if you try these out, these remind you of your grandma's cookies, leave me a comment down below too. I think that's awesome. You can reminisce a little bit with when you're making your cookies. 10 out of 10. I know they're not your normal traditional chocolate chip cookies, but if you love chocolate chip cookies, and I know most of you who are watching do, try this recipe out. It's gonna knock your socks off. So I'm gonna leave 2 recipes down below for you guys. The first one is going to be the recipe using quick oats, and the other recipe is going to be using old-fashioned oats. And they just have a little different ratio of flour and baking soda in them. And I don't think either recipe calls for the cinnamon, so I'll leave down below how much cinnamon to use, but you can always add more or less at your own discretion. But yes, here you go. Chocolate chip cookies, a little jazzed up from the common chocolate chip cookie that you're used to, but totally worth making. So if you do make them, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about it. But thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, you can always head on over to my channel and see what videos I already have. But hit that subscribe button and that bell so you know when I drop the next video. And I'll see you guys next time.